What are your thoughts about video games and the Olympics? Stay tuned and
Nailed
find out
it.
ours. You know, Pete, I waited until after you were done speaking so that then the people could listen to what I was saying, on Tuesday's episode. You might want to have the courtesy of doing that for them. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is about the Olympics in 2024. Apparently, there is some speculation that video games will be making an appearance as a competitive category. And my question that I'm positing, yes, look it up, to everybody is, what are your thoughts about video games as a competitive sport? In the Olympic level competitive sport.
Talks about me making up words.
Go ahead, look it up.
He doesn't have a laptop.
I'm here for the topic, sir.
Okay, so Joe, what are your thoughts? Since he's not answering the fucking question.
You can't. Processing.
I think it's, I think
subscribers watching videos on playing games with
At the Olympics.
with the Olympics and Sonic. We're making fun of Tuesday's episode. You should go check that out on youtube.com/ImprovGaming. It was quite hilarious when we started recording.
No, this would not be surprising if gaming came to the Olympics. I mean, it's coming to be such a forefront in modern day. And what I mean by that is last week, on Tuesday, we were talking about the Twitch and then basically the Call of Duties and the Street Fighters getting live streamed on ESPN. It is becoming a phenomenon, these competitive video games. So to be at the Olympics and be like, you know what, in all of the, here's our best Street Fighter 5 player. Here's China's best. Here's Japan, Africa. Here's all the best players coming together. Who is the best Street Fighter character out of all these people, And it would just be amazing, because then you can turn around and say, America has the gold medal, or Canada has the gold medal in hockey, but we'll have it in video games. So I think it's a very interesting thing, because then it also brings in a younger audience to also watch the Olympics. There's many benefits if this goes through, because it opens up because did it specify the summer or winter?
It's going to be the Paris Olympics in the summer.
Okay, so summer makes sense. Perfect. So, you got your swimming, you got your track and field, it's like cool watching people run. What I want to see is a competitive fight between two people, which is, I think this could be great if they actually go through with it. How's that, Nick? Did you like that?
No, not really, Joe. Please. Share your thoughts on it.
I'm going to ask a question real quick, and then I'll go with my thoughts.
Joe with the damn questions.
Would you watch
Sir, what do you think? You're the host of the show?
Of course I am. Would you watch it if they put video games on
No,
it?
not at all.
I don't know if I would either.
I don't think I would watch it. I mean, I would watch it as much as I watch Evo, and I send Pete to the Las Vegas, so I don't have to watch Evo.
I can't. It's definitely a ratings grab, trying to grab ratings.
I think it would be interesting.
Well, here's
people would watch it in the beginning. They would be curious to turn it on and say, how are they doing it? And then if it's able to catch you, then it's like, oh, I might watch a little bit more. Or if they mess it up, be like, all right, clearly they need some time on this. It's the same thing with, no offense to Evo. In the beginning, Evo needed some time to pull off the Band-Aid to realize, oh, this works that way. I don't know where I got that analogy from.
I have no idea. Evo was an injured puppy. You had to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
But
rip the Band-Aid usually means let it go. It doesn't mean...
That's what I'm saying. They're letting the past Evo experience go to build on.
That's not what it means at all.
Where you're going with it either. Well, my thing is they got rid of, I'm using this term loosely, real sports in the Olympics, like boxing and stuff like that. They got rid of baseball, but now they have the thing called the World Baseball Classic. But you're taking away from real sports for esports at the Olympics. I don't see that as
the theory behind it, right? And I get where Pete's coming, right? Oh, you're gonna get Street Fighter competitions, and no, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna get StarCraft. You're gonna get stuff like that where you have to constantly move, and it creates it's a very strenuous activity that really requires a lot of dedication, right? StarCraft being one of the biggest ones in terms of competitiveness. it's bigger than anything out there in terms of how complex it is. Like it's not easy to get into that field, right, or into that kind of video gaming. It's entry level for any fighting game is easy. You just need to learn the basic structure, right? You can sign up at EVO as long as you pay a fee. So you don't have to be good or anything. But Olympic level means that you have to prove yourself. You have to be the best of the best of the best. And the only way that you're going to get that kind of a gauge is in these games that have been like certified, like you need competent skill to even get into the field. So the way that anybody that picks up a football can't play NFL. But people who've gone through years and years of rigorous training can suddenly become NFL players, right? And then they can compete on an Olympic level. Or that's not a good one. Maybe basketball is a better one because that's an Olympic event, I believe.
Yes.
So, basketball, you have to compete for years and years and years to go through rigorous training, and then you can play for an Olympic team. If you want to, gymnastics, you have to compete for years and years and years until you can actually even be considered. So those are the kind of games that everybody's looking at. It's not going to be your Street Fighters where, to get in, you just sign up.
But here's where I think they would be a real way to go. I don't know if it'll happen, but they'll have time to make it work. VR. Then now you're creating an environment where people are doing stuff and actually interacting. So have it where you could have kind of like a dual thing where you see the people on the field, but you might see what one player's looking at, and have an interactive game. Whether
so something like rigs might be something that you might see at the Olympics. I could see that, but again, it depends on how much skill you really need for rigs to work, right? So half of it is luck, half of it is auto lock, because the tracking might not pick you up, and then stuff like that.
But thinking about it, it's being proposed for 2024, which is the Summer Olympics, which the Summer Olympics lack anyway. So I understand the thought process behind it. Maybe get some viewing there. Yeah, it's not curling and fucking
Curling's so fucking magnificent to watch.
Everything else, So I get they want to get viewers, but so think about it. If you get a game that comes out by 2022, that gives people 2 years to master that. And so if you come out with a game that is actually skill based, now you got people moving around, because anybody could sit here and do this all day.
Yeah.
Now you're just watching somebody just sit there and do.
But remember, gaming isn't just a controller, right? It's also a keypad.
You
it's
think
a mouse.
about it. That's what people associate.
Well, that's
with
what people associate with it. But again, the StarCrafts, it's not about a controller. It's about a keyboard. It's about actions per minute, which is like up in the hundreds that people are performing. Like I think it's like 300 per second that people are performing on these RTSs, and that's where the competitive level is. That's where in comparison to professional sports, that's the one that I consider professional, is because these people have dedicated lives to it, and they're doing maximum efficiency in terms of operating a keyboard and getting these things to happen, right? The only other place that I might see it is a first-person shooter, because you have phenomenal people out there that can play professionally on a shooter, but it's nowhere near like the 9-year-old that's saying that he slept with your mom last night. This is like grown gaming. 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are dominating in esports in terms of first person shooters, because they just
Go and
they just see shit that nobody else can see. They react to shit that nobody else can react to. So that's very much in line with this idea of like a football field.
It's still coordination, exactly. Yeah. Real sports take coordinations, as do these. Hold on.
I agree with you on the fighting, because you know that if they had Tekken 7, I don't know if you know this, Nick, I platinum Tekken 7. I'm also undefeated online. So I would be
Where'd you rank in EVO last time you went?
I'm guaranteed a gold medal.
Where'd you rank in EVO last time you went? Where'd you rank in EVO last time you went?
It's not important.
It is important, because it's the only competition where you would actually prevail in, and you didn't. So
I would honestly have the gold medal right now.
I mean, you would have had the gold medal at EVO last time you went.
They don't do gold medals.
You would have had the grand prize. How's that?
My question to you, gentlemen, is: we've talked about Dota. Would you see a sports games being in the?
Absolutely not.
Calm down, Nick.
No.
Calm down.
No.
Would you guys see any sports?
No.
Games?
Not at all.
Unless they made it
fair across the board.
No, like Madden, where you can control. So one guy's a quarterback, one's a running back, the receivers. Unless they did it like that.
Yeah, if you had 11 guys onto the console,
where you like, oh hey, this is my crew. We're Improv Gaming's team, and now you're a team of gamers facing off against
Yeah.
another
Even
group.
still, no.
Because I can't see like one-on-one Madden, one-on-one to show any of that.
I get you. Okay.
I don't see it at all. I don't see it at all. The reason I don't see it at all is because all it is, if you're a lineman, all you're doing is button mashing.
Yeah, you're not doing a lot.
You're not actually exerting yourself.
Nobody signs up like,
Yeah.
hey guys, all right,
I'll be your lineman. Yeah, everybody wants to be the quarterback, right?
Yep.
Half of the game is done for you. The other half is you throwing the ball and catching it. So I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Even baseball, don't see it.
No,
I don't.
Baseball would by far be the hardest one.
Right, like your throw is dependent on the stats of that player. It's got to be something that's a statistical level playing field. It can't be a racing game because this car is better than that car. It can't be a sports game because this team averaged better this year than this team did, and that's going to update the servers. It can't be any of that. It has to be something where everybody's at an equal playing field. Everybody's on the same playing field. Now let's see who's better.
The problem is that they would make that same thing with shooters. Oh, this gun's better than that gun. All that.
But so there could be standard equipment, right? Like I would say so. I could bring a helmet that's gonna knock the shit out of you to a football game, right? It's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt me, but it's not standard equipment. Mm-hmm. So I'm not allowed to bring it on the field. It's the same kind of premise with basketball. You have to have a regulation size basketball, regulation size hoop, regulation height. There's a lot of regulations in terms of what it is that you can do. You can't control that in a game because of all the statistical variables, unless it's an entirely new cast of players, in which case you're playing shittiest person versus shittiest person. You have to make these shots with characters that can't even score three-pointers. So there has to be a level playing field, and it can't be, I'm basing it off of Michael Jordan and fucking and Scottie Pippen. Like I can't base it off of that.
What about some of today's players?
I don't give a shit about today's players.
No, nobody. Okay.
Name of today's player.
Yeah.
No, but I'm thinking if they did like a VR based shooter, it would almost become like a paintball game without people getting hurt.
Yeah.
So you can.
I think that's more in line where like a VR headset might allow for more reaction, but that's why I say things like rigs might be, because you don't have a different loadout, a different gun, It's pretty much the same shit for everybody, and there's different classes of characters, and 3 different people play as part of a team. So you can have 3 different people sitting there in their VR headsets, collaborating with each other. So that's a level playing field kind of game. Again, StarCraft, a level playing field kind of game. It's all about resources accumulation and taking out your enemy. So
even like a Battlefield, when they did the release, well, I'm assuming it was E3 when they were talking about Battlefield, and they played with teams like, you can do up to this many people, and here's our squad. You got like a medic, and you got this guy who does that. Maybe even they put out games like that.
Even
you might be able to.
That would be cool.
Because now you still have to work together, so you got to be a team.
Yeah.
So it's a team sport.
Yeah. So there's the idea of like it's a one-off thing, right? It's 1v1, right? That's very much your boxing. So you might get a game that's 1v1. That's going to be your StarCraft. 1v1. I'm controlling an army and I'm gathering resources and, this many clicks per minute or whatever. Then there's the idea of a team sports, which is very much your rigs or your battlegrounds or your battlefield, where it's a team effort. Like, in order for us to get this to go the right way, we have to cooperate as a team. And then there's the one-off, right? Like the top score, right? So that's like any game from the fucking 80s. Like, who can get the best score in this game? Who knows if there's even a game that, like Flappy Bird. Say that, because that's a fucking difficult fucking game to get top scores on. But it would have to be those 3 categories are what you need to fill, right? It has to be 1v1, has to be team v team, and then it has to be personal best, which covers your Olympic playing field, right? It covers everything in the Olympics. You have your luge, that's 1v1. You have your slope, that's the personal best, and then you have your team, which is ice hockey.
And some that they'll definitely obviously consider. They have some time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the greatest things is Japan's games are hosted by Mario. So we've actually got a video game character already making their way in.
Is he jumping in?
So maybe that'll be.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And as always, game on.